Hey y'all, how you doing? I'm out in my greenhouse here today to do a couple of things. First, I'm going to do a quick little Baker's Creek haul, and then I'm going to work some more on getting this greenhouse ready for plants. I know I did a little initial cleanup, I want to say a month and a half ago. And now what I really want to do is go through and get all of the shelves cleaned off and to get everything that needs to go out of here in a pile or in a similar location so that way it's easier to take out. So first off, let's get to this great Baker's Creek haul. Okay, I've got my package here and I haven't opened it yet. Okay, got all my seed packages out here. The first thing that I got was this Calendula yellow porcupine. The next thing I got was this tomato cherry flaviola. And honestly, it was how many clusters there were there that sold me on that. The next thing I got is the Get Stuffed Pepper. This one, it was the collar. And then when I went to click on the tomato, how hollow it is, and it kind of does look like a pepper, it got to me, and I had to have it. The next one is this Emalia tomato. I had these last year, and I grew these. But I grew all my seeds because I put these in my seedling cell, and I didn't save any. And last year, I had an absolutely horrible tomato year. I just got a handful of tomatoes to even produce anything, and it was largely in part due to the weeds and me just not being able to beat the weeds, and they succumb. All my tomatoes, most of them succumb to the pressure. Well, the Emalia is one of them that I actually didn't get to taste because it didn't produce anything. On top of the weeds, we also had drought. I should have mentioned that when I was talking about the weeds. But anyways, I used all my seeds because I put this in the seedling sale. And so I wanted to get this one again to try it because the color of it just makes my mouth water every time. I got this Flower Burst Fruit Bowl yarrow. Pretty bright colors. We have the white yarrow here that grows wild. I got this Orange Flame Marigold because I just thought that they looked really pretty. Spears Tennessee Green Tomato. Once again, whenever I saw it, it just made my mouth water. I got this Sappy Glosses Cafe au Lait, and it was just the color, this dark burgundy brown color, and I love flowers. The Snapdragon Bizarre Mix. I mean, it's self-explanatory. They look really awesome. Interesting speckles on the flowers. The Calendula Porcupine Orange. And these I got because they have these pointy little petals instead of the rounded daisy-like petals that you're used to seeing. I got Kentucky Beefsteak Tomato. And my free gifts are Thai Sweet Basil and Japanese Giant Red Mustard. Okay, I'm going to put this aside and then I'm going to get started on just sorting things. What I'm trying to do is get all my shelves, except for this little space over here where I keep some of my tools. I'm going to try to get all of my shelves just cleaned off, so whenever I start bringing seed trays out, I have a place to lay them.
Don't ever fear to be the fool. Life is just not that serious. If you get to thinking you're too cool, check yourself, homie, you're delirious. Fear is just a mirror. Dust becomes the hero. I see the end draw nearer. I'll go from 1 to 0, but until I lay me down to rest, I'm speaking my piece with my...
Oh God. I don't know what kind of bee you are.
I hold chess. I may not win, but I do my best. Every day, different page, same old test. I'm a rakish rap sky and fair, floating like blunt smoke up in the air, dashing quick with fashion, misfit, laying myself bare. Uninvited, I idle by, sliding sideways while flying blind, pining for a sign that the time to shine finally might arise. A time to set aside the disguise in which I hide my eyes, to reprise the fire that climbs up from deep inside. I piloted a riotous ride, designed for the mission to find blinded third eyes to pry wide minds, to unwind and rewind while I redefine the sublime line between fact and fiction, dismissing and removing the listless wishes for conditions to be improving, but I'm still grooving. Last night my mind took flight and glided high and high still, until the sky divided and I found my rise decline, and I was diving astride a fragment. I was fine with consigning myself to erupting across the horizon. My eyes grew wide as time and the bite of briny tides decomposed and eroded the laces of complacency, displacing the fakery and leaving a space where the air was taking me. Exposed fixations and unexpressed vexation, imploded, corroded by loads of explosive expression. I dissected my stress and ejected fecklessness, recklessly setting free the ecstasy of reflexively projecting the me that I was and always will be. Always will be.
So I got all my shelves cleaned off. Well, except for a couple of things. This right here is vermiculite and some cactus soil. And I keep a spare can out here of fuel in case I need it. This stuff right here will go into the house. This little corner here is like all my tools, pins, hooks, that kind of stuff, because my plug-in is right behind these baskets. So I never put any plants or plant trays here because I don't want it to be near my electric when I water. Down on this row here, that's where I've got like watering jugs and some paper bags for seed collecting, and just some plastic bags for trash. Down here, this bag is for me to dump like used soil in that'll eventually go in the compost. I've got a bag of soil there. Here's the soil that I use that I like to pour it out in a bucket. It needs watered. Down here I've got extra bags of soil. These are like things to carry seedlings in if I take them out and put them outside, because it's easier than carrying a bunch of pots. Of course, the stool and my table. Over here on the floor are all my empty pots and plastics that I use to do seed starting or potting up. And then these ones down here on the very bottom, that's like decorative pots and hanging baskets. Eventually those will be taken out of here, but for now, that's where they live. And I did sweep the floor. Of course, there's still dirt and stuff in there, but it looks much better than it did. Honestly, what I swept out of here was mostly dirt. And if there hadn't been pieces of plastic and other random stuff in it, I probably would have put it in my compost bin. But I didn't feel like picking all those little things out of it. Now in the summertime, what I'll probably do is take all the stuff out of here, off the floor, and anything that could be damaged by water, and then just give it a really good spray out with my hose. But it looks so much nicer. And I've got all these shelves emptied to start putting pots on. whenever I come in here. Like I said, this stuff on this top shelf, the stuff that's still over here goes inside with me. And then this wood, this is just spare wood, and I'll probably either slide those up under a shelf or I'll use it for another project. But either way, that'll be gone as well. Okay, y'all, I'm going to take all this stuff inside that needs to go inside. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today while I did this Baker's Creek haul and cleaned up my greenhouse. Honestly, this will probably be the last big cleanup until it's emptied out in the summertime, honestly. I'll probably take random things out of here and put them in other places as it gets filled up. But this is, like I said, this is the last big cleanup until summer. All right, I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you next time. Bye.